What's going on, people? Welcome to another Emotion Football live stream. My name is Alam, and today the Hall of Fame game is on. I'm gonna have it on my screen. I don't think I'll be watching it too closely, and I don't think we'll be watching beyond maybe like halftime ish. Because what I really wanted to talk about was the quarterback market. If you are a regular um, at Emotion Football, you know that something I love talking about is just generally the future of the quarterback market. Who's going to be available, who's not available, what teams are going to be looking for quarterbacks, and then how that kind of changes how you look at the season. So, obviously, Baker Mayfield got, this topic very, very, very interesting, and I can't wait to talk about it. So, that's the main reason I'm here. We're going to be talking about quarterbacks in every team in the NFL. And the game's just happening. The game is just going to be on. The audio is a bit low. I wonder if that's a StreamYard thing because I can move the mic a little closer because I know a lot of people have been having StreamYard issues. But yeah, shout out to everybody in here. Let me know if that changed with what I just did. If not, uh, is it better now? Is it better now? Um, but yeah, you said we stand Kenny. Absolutely, that's Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett, man. Never forget, more Super Bowl snaps than Dak Prescott. We got Carson Beck on TV, man. We got Carson Beck on TV. What a time. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen the double Chinesius stuff, man. Hilarious. Shout out to Caden. Good to see you. She doesn't imagine having Tua. I saw somebody ask Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco a hilarious question about Tua. I think I already shared it, right? But like, somebody sent a super chat into Shannon Sharp and Ocho's live stream asking, "Hey, would you pit, like sit start bench, having Tua as your team's quarterback for 1 year, taking a dump in a porta potty in 100 degrees Fahrenheit weather, and eating ass?" That was the sit bench start bench cut, and just that's the if people aren't familiar with the state of Tua's PR, that's a great example of what's going on. Next year's professional flag football. I'm shit, man. It's possible. It's possible. But okay, so I have my quick little chart here of quarterback situations, and this is my guess for how things are going to look going into next offseason. So at the end of this year, I think the Bills are not going to all of a sudden want to move on from Josh Allen. I think the Dolphins with Malik Willis, I have this as yellow because this is a question mark. Obviously, Malik Willis is going to get a chance to play quarterback for the Dolphins this year. His coach and his GM are from Green Bay, where they had him for about a year and a half, I think. So clearly they like him. This isn't just getting some random quarterback to kill time for a year. They like Malik Willis. There's a chance that he shows something or just shows enough for them to want to stick with him going forward. So the Dolphins is kind of a yellow area. The sticky situation for me with Miami is the fact that I think that their team is going to be bad enough to have a really good draft pick. And if that's the case, then they could, kind of like Malik Willis a little bit and then ultimately still draft a quarterback because they have such a high pick. So Dolphins, this could go a few different directions. Jets, okay, Geno Smith is literally going to be a free agent. Cade Klubnik is the best quarterback they have under contract next year. The Jets are green because they're going to make a major move at the quarterback spot. Patriots are going to stick with Drake May. Bengals and Ravens are going to stick with Burrow and Lamar. The Browns, I have them as green because their best quarterback that they have under contract is Shedeur Sanders, and I don't think that Shedeur Sanders is going to take that job. So I think the Browns will be looking for a quarterback. The Steelers, the best, I think Mason Rudolph and Aaron Rodgers are going to be free agents. So Will Howard and Drew Aller are the best quarterbacks under contract again. And, yet again, I think they're going to have to make a move. For the rest of the teams here, okay, I'm giving the benefit of the doubt that Lawrence, Stroud, Cam Ward, Bo Nix, Herbert, Mahomes, and Mendoza are all going to be the guys on those respective teams for the future going forward into 2027. I'm just going to give them the benefit of the doubt there. In theory, like maybe CJ Stroud plays bad enough to mess up his standing in that organization. Maybe Trevor Lawrence does the same. I don't know, but I think both those guys are like all these guys here are going to be looked at as the future. The question mark here for me is Indianapolis, and the reason that is because one, they signed him to a 2 year deal, um, and because he's on a 2 year deal, it's a very easy contract to get off of. Two, because I think this is do or die for everybody in that team. Um, Whether that's Chris Ballard, Shane Steichen, I think the new ownership of the Colts, and when I say new ownership, I mean the Ursay sisters. This is, I think, the last dance for that part of the for the management and the coaching of the Colts. So, if Daniel Jones plays okay, and the team's not good, and guys get fired, then a new regime might want to move on from Daniel Jones and trade him off to another team. So I again, there's a possibility that he plays bad and he has to be replaced. There's a possibility that he plays okay and the coaching staff gets replaced, meaning he has to ultimately be replaced. Uh, so there's a couple ways that he could end up not being the guy for the Colts. But obviously, if he plays good, they're probably gonna stick with it. So a few different ways this could go. Um, but yeah, the Colts are the other yellow. Looking at the NFC East, I have a hard time imagining anybody is going to want to move on from their quarterbacks. Looking at the Bears, Lions, and Packers, I feel the same way. The Vikings, Kyler Murray is going to be a free agent. That means JJ McCarthy is the best player in your contract, which means that the Vikings, you can look at them as a team that's going to make a big move. The Buccaneers are going to lose both their quarterbacks. I mean, not lose, but like they're both going to be free agents. So this could go. So the Buccaneers are definitely going to have to make a move. Now the move they make might be franchising Baker Mayfield, signing him, but they're going to have to do something. Falcons are left with Penix under contract next year, so they're going to have to do something. I think Bryce Young and Tyler Shuck are going to do enough to take the jobs here in these cities for him to fuck this up. And then Bryce Young, I think the thing is that Bryce Young, like if he makes the playoffs twice, I think it's impossible to want to switch him out. And just generally, like I don't see the Panthers making a big money move at quarterback, and I don't think with Bryce Young they'll be picking high enough to get a top quarterback. So I think he's stuck there. Um, the Cardinals, Gardner Minshew and Jacoby Brissett will be free agents. If Carson Beck is the best quarterback under contract next year, they're gonna have to make a move as Kenny Pickett breaks. Oh, he escapes the sack through to John Mechie, two former Eagles, almost hooking up at the Hall of Fame game. But it didn't work out. And then yeah, the rest of the division I think is pretty solid. Oh, shout out to King. I just saw you backstage. What's going on, bro? We got football.
Well, we got football, yeah.
I mean, shit. It's not going to be a lot of fun to watch the football, but not a bad excuse to
At
at
least
least
it's that. So,
facts.
how do you feel about the inductees?
To be honest, I'm so not tapped into the induct. So I know Larry Fitzgerald and Keekly are the inductees. Let's.
It's Larry, Keekley, Roger Craig, Vinatieri, and Drew Brees.
Okay. So players that I watched all four of these guys, but not. I watched everybody but Roger Craig.
Same.
What? My mic is tripping? No way. Hold on. Reduce my automatically adjust my. Okay, hold on. How does it sound now?
It sounds fine for me, but it might be because he's watching on YouTube and I'm on StreamYard.
Maybe because I know StreamYard's been giving a lot of creators problems this month.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, hold on. I'll just see when he responds. But yeah, Kenny Pickett out here, not playing that ass in the Hall of Fame game. Good for him. He's gonna collect a lot of checks being a backup quarterback. Damn, Jen Will Belandres, bro. All right, whatever. We'll move on. But yeah, so Vinatieri, clutchest kicker I've ever seen. Luke Kuechly, dominant linebacker. Kind of a shame that the Panthers weren't like perennial contenders with him because he was unreal. Larry Fitzgerald, I kind of could say the same thing about the Cardinals. Um,
You can definitely say that about the Cardinals.
and then Drew Brees, if he signed for the Dolphins instead of the Saints, then we could be saying the same thing about him. Fortunately, he went to a team that made the playoffs a lot while he was in the NFL. Obviously, he has the one Super Bowl, but pretty good players, man. Pretty good players here. I like it that it's a smaller set of inductees. I've always thought that the Hall of Fame should be slightly more like exclusive. Oh shit, bro! There's so many random people on the Panthers. I just realized that they have AJ Dillon in the backfield. Shout out to Quadzilla. Oh, he just scored a touchdown. Panthers up or not up? They're gonna tie the game up. But yeah, okay. So these are the teams that need quarterbacks. Now, when we look at the quarterbacks that let's get some of these names the hell out of here. We look at the quarterbacks that are available. Baker's going to be a free agent. Mac Jones is going to be a free agent. Kyler is going to be a free agent. Those are like the three starters, I guess you could say. Um, and then
Oh well,
Jacoby
yeah, I
Brissett.
didn't see a video. What's happening with Baker?
Oh no, so I don't know if you saw the clips, but basically Baker told the Buccaneers that I don't want to negotiate a deal once training camp starts. So they didn't reach a details on a contract extension. Um, and he basically cut that off. So he's going to play this year and then be a free agent. Now, apparently, they were offering him a 2-year deal at $50 million a year, which is like less than Trevor Lawrence. Um, that's like 10 mil less than Dak Prescott. That's less than a lot of quarterbacks you would say that Baker is definitely like probably on the same level as at least. And basically, Baker Mayfield, there's a press conference you can go watch, but he's talked about how like he was really disappointed the deal didn't get done. He feels kind of disrespected, which is kind of a crazy thing to say at a press conference about the team that you're currently on. So it was a lot. It kind of felt like I was just really surprised that it came down to that. But basically, he's going to be a free agent unless they franchise tag him. But the bigger issue is that he seems to be pretty upset that they didn't like just take care of him when they could. To look at, actually, not a bad time to look at the quarterback market.
Then hey, he better put up a setup this year.
Yeah, so if you look at the market here, right? Some of the numbers out here. Patrick Mahomes 64, that makes sense. Dak Prescott is making 60 a year. Then there's this big cluster here. Burrow 55, Allen 55, Love 55, Trevor Lawrence 55, Stafford 55, Jared Goff 53, Brock Purdy 53, Herbert 52, Lamar 52, Hurts 51. So basically, they offered Baker Mayfield less money than all these guys, especially because they offered him a 2-year deal. So
Yeah,
I mean, from his standpoint, he's looking at it like, damn, you think I'm worse than Trevor Lawrence? You think I'm worse than like there's another name that stood out. Like, I mean, I guess Jared Goff and Jordan Love. Like, I guess those would be conversations. But I would say the big thing is like I would take Baker over Trevor Lawrence, and the fact that Lawrence got paid 55 and they offered him 50, I can understand why he is upset. The weird thing about again, it's just weird to hear a quarterback say, and if you haven't seen it, actually, I'll pull up the tweet. I'll pull up a tweet with the quote. Yeah, okay. Say Baker Mayfield says he felt disrespected and undervalued by the contract offers he received. He believes he's a franchise QB and says he's going to have a big year and that the team is going to have to pay for it at the end. This last sentence is a little bit dramatic, but he basically said that he's like, like I'm betting for myself, or like I'm betting on myself. But yeah, the disrespected and undervalued thing, like he's in a weird spot with the Bucks, man. Cause I feel like he's petty, dog. Like he remember in college he held the fact that he was a walk on. Oh, they didn't want him at Texas, and he's from Texas, and like he held that against him, like all the way through his college career. I just feel like he's kind of not a spiteful person, but like he keeps the chip on his shoulder. And yeah, I don't know, man. I just feel like the Buccaneers may have messed this up. Bryce Young could have the same career trajectory as Trevor Lawrence. He'll be a decent to good performer, have some luck in the past, but can't really switch out. Yes, I agree. Chargers inducted Joe Connie, Anthony Miller. I don't know who these guys are, but so Connor Joe could sign that new big contract soon, as he should, bro, as he should. Um, but yeah, no, the big takeaway from all this is that like Baker Mayfield might be gettable, and then if he's a free agent, which I still don't think will happen, by the way, I think the Buccaneers are gonna franchise tag him. He would have to kind of like he would have to be very persistent to just like reject that and force himself into free agency. But in theory, Baker Mayfield and Mac Jones both being free agents is probably one of the better free agent markets we've had in a while. Um, this could all change quite a bit if Baker and Kyler get franchise tagged and just brought back by their old teams. Oh shit, Carson Beck. Carson Beck completes a 50-yard pass. He got his receiver smoked, and the pass was probably a little bit inside. But I mean he did make the completion. Oh no. Okay. I saw a flag and I immediately got terrified of the idea of that hit being for nothing. Um, but yeah, so ultimately, if you feel like the Bucks are gonna the Bucks are gonna have a good year and bring back Baker, and you feel like the Vikings are gonna have a good year and bring back Kyler Murray, then basically it's a competition between Atlanta, the Cardinals, maybe the Jets, Browns, and Steelers for Mac Jones. And then I would say that the advantage goes to the teams that don't have high draft picks. Um, so yeah, like a team like the Cardinals are going to need a quarterback, but I have a feeling that they're going to be bad and they're going to have a high draft pick and be able to take one of the rookies. A team like the Falcons, especially with Jalen Walker going down, I feel like they're going to be bad and have a high draft pick. Um, Same with the Jets. In theory, if the Dolphins make a move, same with them as well. So I say this all to say, like the team that ends up with Mac Jones might be the whoever the best team is uh, that needs a quarterback, and hilariously, that might be Pittsburgh or Indianapolis if they want to like completely reset at the quarterback spot. But um, no, it could. It'll. The thing I'm hoping for is I'm hoping that Kyler and Baker hit the market because I think that could make for a really interesting um, free agency. You saw the stat where Deshaun threw 7 touchdowns to Shadur's 2. I did. I did. The stats from training camp are always really difficult because you kind of just don't know what the setting was. I imagine if Deshaun Watson threw 7 touchdowns and 20 throws, that it was a red zone drill. Now, obviously, him throwing 7 touchdowns to Shadur's 2 is still better. Um, but yeah, I'm feeling Vinny. Oh man, shout out Vinny, man. Shout out Vinny. Vinny, just probably what he wasted like a month of Arsenal's summer, maybe 3 weeks. Just wasted it. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Um, Adam Vinatieri not doing too bad for his age. But yeah, Carson Beck in the red zone, trying to put his team up 7, 3rd and 4. Throws a jump ball. Oh shit. Fahoko comes down with it. It's a touchdown. Yo, Carson, how long is the preseason? So the Hall of Fame game is like a random one-off, but basically it's going to be 3 weeks. So think about it like the next 3 weekends. So I think the
Basically,
weekend,
we're having real football in like a month.
yeah, we're like the weekend of the 15th, 22nd, and 29th. So it's 3 weekends of preseason. Now, it used to be the case where there would be 1 week of preseason where starters played like 2 to 3 quarters. That doesn't really happen anymore. It is definitely not worth tuning in for the most part. What I'm gonna do for a couple of these nights is that there's some nights where there's gonna be 8 to 9 preseason games kind of happening at the same time. I might go live for those days and just like cycle through the games to see where starters are playing, if any starters are playing. Maybe not a bad time to watch some rookies. I know, like for example, if you're into like I think Steelers preseason would be valuable to watch because Will Howard and Drew Aller are going to play, and I
Oh,
don't know, those are at least quarterbacks that are interesting because they had some success in college. Um, but yeah, I think the only thing to watch preseason for is young quarterbacks.
by the way, I'm actually going to a preseason game.
Which one are you checking out?
I'm going to the Jets one.
Also, you get to see Club Nick as well. Yeah, it's gonna be Club Nick against Howard and Aller. I hope
Yeah,
Rudolph and Rogers get no snaps because they just don't need it.
yeah. We won some free tickets, and we get to go there.
Nice. But yeah, they're just showing Adam Vinatieri highlights, man. Crazy, crazy kicker.
He's probably the kicker.
What's wrong with AFTV? I didn't see that they made a new song. I just heard about this as I saw this in a tweet. Um, I don't know. It just doesn't sound good. Man, you just cannot take those people seriously. Um, but yeah, as far as the trade market goes for the quarterbacks next offseason, like it doesn't look like there's anybody under contract that's worth trading except Daniel Jones if the Colts decide to blow it up. Again, like the big thing with Indy is just it's not actually even about Daniel Jones. It's about does that coach and GM get fired? Because if they have a bad season and they clear house, then yeah, I could see Daniel Jones, like the new regime, wanting to move on from him if they feel like they want somebody else. So there's, I guess, three situations to watch, right? Indianapolis, Minnesota, and Tampa Bay, because all of their quarterbacks could be on the market, and if that happens, then there's going to be there's going to be a lot of musical chairs and a bunch of quarterback switching teams. But if they all keep hold of their guys, then it's basically the whole offseason is going to be who gets Mac Jones, and then the draft and who gets the young quarterbacks. Um, but yeah, of these teams that need quarterbacks, I expect Arizona to be bad and have a high draft pick. I expect Atlanta to be bad. Minnesota and Tampa Bay, no. But I expect the Dolphins, Jets, and the Browns to be bad, right? So there's five teams here that need quarterbacks. They're all probably going to be picking in like the top eight, I want to say. Um, oh shit, Kenny Pickett is not in the game anymore. Oh no, who is this guy? Um, ultimately, if they're all low picks like this, or sorry, high picks like this, not everybody's going to get a chance to get the quarterbacks that they want because looking through some early mock drafts, and these early mock drafts tend to never be representative of what happens come April. There's like three constants. So I think every mock draft has Manning, Dante Moore, and Julian Sane. But then there's like a variation of usually two to three more quarterbacks that go in the first round. But I saw so many different names. Like I saw the USC quarterback, the UCLA quarterback. I saw Darian Mensa. I saw CJ Carr. There's a lot of debate about who these next quarterbacks are. So if there only ends up being these three and everybody else falls off, then some of the teams that need quarterbacks are screwed because they're just not there aren't that many names. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to monitor the college season and the NFL season to see how these things go. Once again, like there's three big situations to monitor: Indy, Minnesota, and Tampa Bay. In Atlanta, like in theory, you could say the same thing about Atlanta because they have Tua. I'm just so certain that Tua is not going to be good. I am so certain that Tua is going to be bad, and they're going to be looking for a quarterback. I guess Tua and Michael Penix. Who is number 16 on the Panthers? That was a bad ball. Number 16 on the Panthers. Just you have to say Carolina. I don't want to hear about the Florida Panthers. Haynes King. He's a rookie. Obviously, the Rams, there's two quarterbacks that could be their starter next year, depending on if Stafford retires or not. But yeah, they're not going to be in the market for a big move. I already talked through these two. Yeah, Bo Nix, Herbert, and Mahomes are very, very solid. I think it would be next to impossible for Mendoza to do something to not be the starter next year. So I feel pretty good about that one too. Jeez, Haynes King, chill. He's a classic like undrafted free agent rookie preseason kind of quarterback. Like doing a lot of silly things in terms of like he on a bootleg he stumbled and fell a little bit. On that throw it was a pretty simple throw that was off. You're gonna see a lot of mistakes that you don't normally see. Okay, Haynes King rolling slides. But yeah, to wrap this up, if I do a quick prediction, let's say Jones stays there, Mayfield stays here, Kyler ends up here. Then again, the competition for Mac Jones becomes Falcons against the Cardinals, against Browns, Jets, Dolphins, and Steelers. And I think the Steelers probably have the worst draft pick in this timeline. So they end up moving for Mac Jones because they have the worst chances to get a young quarterback in the draft. And then that leaves young quarterbacks for everybody else. Obviously, if you're in a situation like the Jets, where you would only have Klubnik and then you would maybe draft another rookie, you'd probably want to sign a vet like a Jacoby Brissett to be the adult in the room. But yeah, there's a bunch of quarterbacks, and I haven't even included the rest. But you can throw Tua on that list. Haynes King finds his man, and it's a touchdown, 14-14. So while this game is not a high level of football, you are seeing a a ton of touchdowns. So for the casuals that have missed football so badly, uh, not the casuals, for the diehards that have missed football so badly, like glad you guys get to see touchdowns. For the gamblers that put money on this, because you know they can't help but scratch that itch, seek help. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here, people. Wanted to just get my issue off about the quarterback market. I think it's good. Again, Baker made things really interesting. Kyler and the Vikings, we'll see what they do. All eyes on Indy to see if they blow up their regime. But yeah, this is something that we do. I would say on a we do this like 4 or 5 times a year. I'll probably do this at some point again around week 8 or week 9. But yeah, this is a staple in this community. I'll probably do it week 8, week 9, and then at the end of the season, then after free agency, and yeah, uh, that's the routine here. So, oh yeah, hell yeah, Jez. Shout out to Sai. Hope all is good on your end. We're gonna wrap up pretty soon. Bit random. What do you expect from the upcoming season regarding scoring, rule changes, and practice? A lot of. Wait, what are the main rule changes? What are the new rules heading into the 2026 NFL season? Allowing teams to declare an onside kick at any time. 50-yard line touchbacks. Wait, what? Hold on. The dead ball spot rules are modified for kickoffs from the 50-yard line that result in a touchback. Okay, that's pretty subtle. Setup zone alignment, receiving team setup. Okay. No roster cuts, free agency communication. I don't see a ton of new rules that impact things too much, to be honest. Is there any new rules that haven't been included here that you're thinking of in particular? I do think as a whole, it's not going to be the best season for scoring. I feel like there's a handful of teams that have very strong defenses, and I think it's not even necessarily a talent thing, but I just think a lot of teams try to play it safe from a turnover standpoint offensively, and that makes it harder to score 35 points when you're trying to keep hold of the ball. So I think you see a lot of defense and a lot of holding onto the ball. Free Brandon Ayuk, bro. He played himself. He played himself so badly. That's bad. That is so bad because I don't think there's an organization other than Washington that would have been interested, and now they've already moved on. I just think that there's no team left for him. He has to like find God or something. He has to really, 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 really take a strong pivot to get this second chance. I can't believe how much opportunity he's just wasted away because he's upset with the Niners. That one is really rough. Is it bad? Like, how much time is he gonna miss? I think he'll be fine. My bigger concern for Kansas City is just hoping that Mahomes is gonna come back when he's 110%. I think anything else is no good. They should be very patient. But at the same time, I feel like they know this is Travis Kelsey's last year, so they're gonna not want to just miss a month because that it could impact their playoff chances. Bro, Luke Kuechly is 35. 35-year-old Hall of Famer, man. Good for him. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here. Shout out to everybody in here. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys again Sunday night for some kind of a stream. I'll find something to talk about, but I'm sure there'll be more news until then. Obviously, like the Bijan and Gibbs extensions happened, which I didn't really talk about because I think for the most part I said everything I had to say in the last video. So you can check out the last video, which is just about training camp stories for the most part. Ooh, Carson Beck, what the hell was that? But yeah, check that out. Check this out from the beginning if you joined halfway. And yeah, I'll see you guys again on Sunday. He ain't training fully. I mean, the thing about training camp, especially this time of year, is they're going to be extra, extra, extra cautious. So if it feels like he needs 4 days to get healthy, they might give him 6. College preview, I'll be honest, I don't know college stuff that well. I don't know it well enough to do a proper preview. I feel like I know college well enough to talk about things after it happened. I'm not up on it enough to like break it down from the beginning and like do predictions and stuff. Although I don't know. We'll see. College stuff definitely will be just more spoken about during streams midweek. But yeah, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys on Sunday. We're out.